Hey sassy lady, this is Matri, एक social media marketer, एक mother and a simple yet sassy woman just like you. ये है Little Fixes podcast, आपकी evergreen audio lifestyle magazine. यहाँ मैं और मेरे guest शेयर करते हैं sweet, simple and practical ideas to help you in improving every aspect of your life. Career, fitness, mental health and personal growth are just some of the topics we cover. This podcast is like the real talk you have with your real friends. So continue what you're doing and keep listening. Hello Sassy Nari. Thank you for joining me today. We are recording this episode on 20th April and I am feeling quite energetic today. When I checked where I am in my cycle, so I saw that I am in the ovulation phase, which is considered to be full of creative energy. Did you know कि अपनी मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल को यूज करके हम वुमेन ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिव हो सकते हैं? वी ऑल वांट टू बी मोर प्रोडक्टिव, बट हम भूल जाते हैं कि प्रोडक्टिविटी का मतलब हर वक्त काम करते रहना नहीं है. इंस्टेड अपने टाइम को ठीक से यूटिलाइज करना है. सी, वी वुमेन फील वेरी डिफरेंट ऑन डिफरेंट डेज. लाइक मे बी आज मेरा रेस्ट करने का मन है, बट 4 दिन बाद आई विल बी रेडी टू टेक ऑन द वर्ल्ड. कभी क्रिएटिव आइडियाज फ्लो होते रहते हैं तो कभी दिमाग ही काम नहीं करता. ये सब सिर्फ हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ से ही अफेक्ट नहीं होता, बल्कि हमारे हार्मोनल लेवल्स भी हमारे मूड और हमारी बॉडी को इम्पैक्ट करते हैं. इफ दिस इज द केस, तो आपको नहीं लगता दैट वी शुड बी अलाइंड विद आवर बॉडीज? अगर आप सोच रही हैं कैसे, देन यू नीड टू लिसन टू दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन. आपकी बॉडी की रिदम को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए आज मेरे साथ हैं सर्टिफाइड बर्थ एजुकेटर एंड लैक्टेशन काउंसलर दिव्या कपूर. दिव्या विल एनलाइटन अस अबाउट द डिफरेंट फेजेस ऑफ आवर मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल, why it is important to understand this, and how to use our menstrual cycle to be more productive and more in control of our lives. And if you like this conversation, please follow Little Fixes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify या जहाँ भी आप अपनी podcast सुनते हैं. Now let's hear it from Divya. Hi Divya, welcome to Little Fixes.
Hi Maitri, so excited to be doing this finally with you.
So, मैं और दिव्या एक दूसरे की पॉडकास्ट पे पहले भी आ चुके हैं एंड दिव्या हैज रिसेंटली रीब्रांडेड हर पॉडकास्ट. बर्थ अग्नि पॉडकास्ट है एंड एज आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू शी इज अ बर्थ एजुकेटर एंड लैक्टेशन काउंसलर, तो उनकी पॉडकास्ट भी इसी बारे में है. सो दिव्या, हम लोग शुरू करते हैं पीरियड के अराउंड जो टैबू होता है उससे. लाइक फॉर मी इट इज अ बिग थिंग नाउ टू टॉक ओपनली अबाउट पीरियड्स. मैंने कभी भी ऐसे बात नहीं की थी बिफोर लिटिल फिक्सेस. किसी और से आई थिंक नहीं किया है ज्यादा. और लिटिल फिक्सेस पे भी जब कोई टॉपिक स्टार्ट हुए थे तो आई यूज्ड टू फील अ लिटिल हेजिटेंट कि बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं. मतलब मुंह से निकलता था ना तो आवाज अपने आप थोड़ी धीमी हो जाती थी, बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ अ लॉट ऑफ अस हैव ग्रोन अप. तो फ्रॉम यू आई ऑल्सो वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ वाज इट फॉर यू व्हाइल ग्रोइंग अप, and what change have you been through, and what change you see around you?
तो हाँ, बड़े होते हुए pretty much ऐसा ही था मैत्री कि back at home mama was very very diligent in making sure कि मंदिर में नहीं जाना है, किसी के घर में पूजा है तो नहीं जाना है, कन्या पूजा है तो आप once you've hit puberty आपको नहीं जाना है. But slowly as I grew, hostel में we became more open, and I remember one of these days, and ये हमेशा लगता है अजीब सा था कि पापा को हमेशा पता होता था.
हाँ.
because
It is
जैसे कि
worse. या तो पता ही ना हो या फिर पता हो तो at least you can talk about it openly, right?
exactly so that state of confusion for a child कि ये सही है या नहीं भी है,
हाँ.
करना क्या है इस चीज का. And but there were incidents, not incidents, I would say there were small episodes growing up which were also hinting at it being a good thing. And ऐसे ही एक बार बाहर खड़े हुए मेरी मासी थी, कुछ ब्लीडिंग पे ही बात हो रही थी, तो मैंने उनसे पूछा कि मासी ऐसा क्यों होता है, why do we bleed at all? तो उन्होंने बोला this is a gift, कि आप बड़े होगे तो you have the power to create life, you'll have your own children, so it's a gift. एंड तब मुझे नहीं समझ आया कि ये गिफ्ट क्यों है जब ऐसे बहुत नींद आती है. और कभी कभी बिकॉज अर्लियर ऑन एज प्यूबर्टी हिट्स यू माइट इवन फेंट बिकॉज ग्लूकोज लेवल्स डिप हो जाते हैं, एंड काफी चीजें अलग अलग. फॉर मी इट वाज वेरी टायरिंग. सो दिस वाज इट was a mix of good and the very normal and the way it's been seen in the society. ऐसा था, मिक्स था.
And now what change do you see?
I think there is a lot of talk about menstrual cycle. There are Insta channels that I see. Um, I think even growing up with friends and everything, we became very open with colleagues, even at workplace. We were like, some of the colleagues are very open about it and very embracing of the fact, because they had wives, they had girlfriends. So काफी open था, और I'm sure in another like 10 years और भी open हो गया होगा, with youngsters being very open about it, very casual, and that's a good thing, and for everybody, in terms of creating that space for women to be themselves, how they are, and those emotional cycles that they go through.
यस यस एंड इनफैक्ट हम लोग जैसे कि आप बोला भी आपने कि बहुत ज्यादा स्टिग्मा था, या हम लोग मतलब डायरेक्टली बोलते भी नहीं थे। अभी भी आई थिंक पीपल से डाउन हो गई हो, इवन यू से दैट, क्योंकि हमारी आदत पड़ गई है। मैंने शादी के बाद
Of
पहली
course,
बार ये वर्ड
yeah.
सुना था, डाउन हो गई। मेरी सासू माँ लाइक वो डाउन हो गई इसलिए वो नहीं आएगी। लाइक डाउन हो गई हो होता क्या है? तो मैंने उनसे पूछा, देन शी वाज लाइक क्यों नहीं, उनको पीरियड्स हो रहे हैं। लाइक ओ ओके ओके ठीक है। तो
Yeah,
ये
right.
ये सब भी था। एंड मुझे लगता है कि अब जैसे जैसे ओपननेस आ रही है, द थिंग्स आर बिकमिंग बेटर, बट अभी भी एक तो स्टिग्मा है, एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ फन मेकिंग जो होता है ना, जोक्स भी बहुत क्रैक किए जाते हैं। एटलीस्ट बोल देते हैं ना कि आर यू पीएमएसिंग, अगर कोई अलग तरीके से रिएक्ट कर देता है जैसे कि किसी और ने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया, तो स्पेशली मेन ने, आई थिंक। तो लेडीज के हार्मोनल होने पे जोक्स तो बहुत बनते हैं, बट दिस इज हाउ आवर बॉडी हैज बीन क्रिएटेड। आई फील दैट इट्स टाइम टू ओन बीइंग हार्मोनल। और अगर ओन करना है तो अपनी बॉडी के रिदम को समझना और उसकी रिदम के साथ काम करना बहुत जरूरी है। और इसीलिए दिव्या को आज हमने यहाँ पर बुलाया भी है, क्योंकि दिव्या हमें बताएंगी कि आखिर हमारी बॉडी की, वुमेन की बॉडी की रिदम होती क्या है। तो दिव्या, स्टार्ट करते हैं मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल की फेजेस से। उनके बारे में हमें थोड़ा थोड़ा जरूर बताइए कि क्या कौन सी फेजेस होती हैं इसमें, किस तरीके के बॉडी में चेंजेस आते हैं, या फिर किस तरीके के हमारे इमोशंस में चेंजेस आते हैं, और ड्यूरेशन क्या होता है, इस तरह की कुछ चीजें वी वुड लाइक टू नो फ्रॉम यू।
Yeah, and coming from what you just said, बहुत negative connotation था और है अभी भी,
हम्म
even when we are embracing, but there are channels that talk about period pain as, or everything about menstrual cycle, the entire month gone in anticipating bleeding,
हम्म
and कुछ भी उसमें अच्छा है ही नहीं,
हम्म
रोना पिटना ही है थ्रू आउट। पर ऐसा नहीं होता है, there is a reason, and there is a very important emotional and spiritual factor to it. And how that goes about is, there are 4 phases that a woman's reproductive cycle goes through in a month. And उसको हम seasons में भी बता सकते हैं, उसको हम moons से भी relate कर सकते हैं. So if we see our energies as fluid, liquid, then we'll be able to better understand how we are affected by the moon phases, and they're very much in sync with our cycles. Or we can sync our cycles to the moon eventually. So the first would be follicular, wherein say the spring season, say the first day of the bleeding to the next 14 days up until ovulation. तो इसमें क्या होता है, आपने once you've bled, right, आपका your egg that was released into your into your fallopian tube, waiting for conception, कि conception होगा, but the body realized कि कोई conception नहीं है. Now it's preparing for another cycle of ovulation. So it's a spring season, it's a happy season. And
तो
in terms of,
फॉलिक्यूलर और ओव्यूलेशन दोनों, अगर आप सीजन के टर्म्स में बात करें तो आप इसको स्प्रिंग बोल रहे हो।
yes,
अराउंड 7 days का फॉलिकुलर फेज मान लें, जिसमें बॉडी इज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर ओव्यूलेशन, एंड नेक्स्ट 7 days इज ओव्यूलेशन।
ovulation is, like we say it, like full moon. It's around, it can see on an average 1 to 14 days के बीच में, the difference between follicular and ovulation phase. And आपका ovulation और इसमें difference ऐसे हो सकता है, सबका cycle different होता है. So I'm taking a standard 28-day cycle wherein I'm explaining this. So सबका अलग हो सकता है. Follicular phase can differ for every woman and can be shorter or longer depending on her cycles. So spring है तो energy आपकी अच्छी है. अभी you were bleeding, तो bleeding start होने के बाद second day, third day onwards, once you start settling, your energy start coming back. So in terms of moon, you can say आपका that phase where the moon is waxing as in it's becoming more luminous. अब
मतलब
luminous होकर
फॉलिकुलर से मेंस्ट्रुएशन की तरफ जाते हुए वैक्सिंग मून है, दैट्स व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से।
ovulation तक, full moon तक जाते हुए. So the moon is becoming more luminous and it will become full moon. So when the moon is becoming more luminous, so your energy is also becoming higher because your energy is water. And
Mm-hmm.
moon के luminous होने की वजह से the high tide is coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming in the follicular phase. So you're more energetic. You want to maybe plan things. You want to do all the things that you were so far planning for,
Mm-hmm.
or you want to take up new projects. Is
Mm-hmm.
phase because you're now excited, right? After the hibernation, because usually जब हम down होते हैं, तब when we're bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
when we want to relax, we want
Mm-hmm.
to go inside. So from there, when we come out, we want to basically हमारा energy levels better होता है, so we want to now replan a few projects, want to plan a few projects, and then up into until ovulation. Ovulation is full moon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Yeah.
called summer. Summer, full moon. Full moon, that means your energies are at peak level, high tide, at the
Okay.
peak, the जितना हो सकता है. So you're in your best active state. You want to
Ovulation को summer कहते हैं. Like
summer
follicular
के.
is spring, ovulation is summer. Okay.
Yeah.
Then.
And then in that phase, you might want to finish up your projects. You're very creative, very energetic. You feel very
Yeah.
confident. And that's also a time, abhi your follicular phase, your body was trying to prepare for another cycle of conception. So ovulation, mate, has just released an egg. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
waiting for a sperm. It's waiting for the meeting to happen. उस समय you feel very sensual. You want to dress up well. You want to go out maybe. You want to do different things, just the natural phase of wanting to be liked, wanting to, you're far more confident in yourself. So this phase can be utilized in doing the meetings, important projects, maybe wherever you want to do a public speaking, and all those things you can utilize this energy in. And I'll be very honest, you'll feel all of this. So even while I'm telling that इस phase में आपके साथ ये हो सकता है, इस phase में ये हो सकता है, I don't want you to go back and start counting day 1 of bleeding. मुझे अभी plan करना start करना है what next I want to do. All this will come to you. You'll feel like doing it. Why we're doing this discussion is for you to sit down and be more aware. Sit down and want to see those changes, see that spring of energy. Once you start noticing that flow, you will start working on it. You will start behaving and being happy about these phases. And so once you start feeling energetic right after you've bled, now take up those things. Just do. Don't think about keep bleeding cycle me. I was so low. Now my life is done with. I'm such a bad entrepreneur, or I'm such a bad woman, or I suck at my workplace, or I'm not getting that promotion. Come out of it. Probably all those feelings जो आपको feel हो रही थी, they were telling you something about where the problem lies. Now you can plan around it. How do I get that promotion? So in the spring season, in the follicular season, we plan, we develop new projects, and everything that we feel want to do. So your mind will tell you where you need to act upon. You just need to be more aware. In ovulation period, you can further finish up these things, be in your best creative self. And in the next phase that comes in, the next 14 days would be your luteal phase. Luteal phase is full moon. Say now the moon is going to go towards the new moon. Its luminance is going to reduce. So there is more darkness. So in the luteal phase, which is commonly called the premenstrual phase, where you start feeling low, you start feeling very agitated. You give it back. Don't mess
वही
with the moon.
PMS वाली फेज है ये जिसका लोग मजाक उड़ाते हैं.
मजाक उड़ाते हैं. But there is a very strong spiritual reason behind it. Everything that is bottled up for a woman will start surfacing. I didn't like these things in my partner. And we all are like different people, right? At the end of the day, you're not going to like everything about your partner, but it will surface. अगर वो trigger आ गया उस वक्त, you're just going to give it back to him, or cry, or tell him, or be angry. But then all these things are just telling you that, and some of us, and I've been doing that, I used to fight. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I was angry. I'm so sorry I felt this about you. No, this is who I am. This is what I expect from you. And maybe I shouldn't expect it from you, but these are my needs. And I want to embrace these needs as authentically as possible. Because अगर मैंने इस साइकिल में से authentically accept नहीं करा, वो next में फिर आएगी, उसकी अगली में फिर आएगी, bottle up होती जाएगी. I'll keep saying sorry, and then there will be a negative connotation to it, that women are just like that. They can't do anything. They can't handle their emotions. But we can. The only thing is, it's real. Those emotions that we are feeling, that are very real. Those thoughts are not just coming out of nowhere, or they are the side effects of the hormonal imbalance. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a hormonal imbalance. It's just a regular cycle of hormones. They're meant to be this way. This
Mm-hmm.
is how the reproductive and women and our entire body, our thoughts, our very being runs on our reproductive cycle. We are driven by our uterus,
Mm-hmm.
driven by our sensuality, our entire being is driven by that. So it's very important in that phase, in that coming of dark phase, to acknowledge, to surrender to those feelings. Let them come to you. You feel like crying, sit down in a corner and cry. You don't want to be with people, do not be with people. If you are setting those boundaries, that I gave it back to someone, I was rude to someone in this phase, own it. It was good for you. Because, of course, you never liked it. You wanted to set that boundary, you never had the courage. But now you
Mm-hmm.
suddenly had that testosterone, that energy to set that boundary, and it's fixed. You,
Mm-hmm.
you must have come across as a bad woman because we are supposed to be nice. We are supposed to be this
आप
way.
ये भी बोल रहे हो कि टेस्टोस्टेरोन बढ़ जाता है, तो ये मैस्कुलिन फेज हो गई क्या?
Uh, no, this is just giving you that energy of more clarity in thinking and
Uh-huh.
more, which is very normal to men, right?
Yeah, that's why
Very
I was saying
straightforward.
कि वही एनर्जी हो गई जो मेन में
Very
होती है.
energy. Yes. So we all have masculine and feminine energies in us,
Mm-hmm.
and we some of them surface at some time, and some of them surface at another time. We would of course have more of our feminine energy at other times, but yeah, testosterone also rises, and which is why some women who exercise a day or two before their menstrual cycle, they'll be like, I can lift more weight, or I can do more exercise. Where is this energy coming from? And then they just know, when they've read the pattern, they're aware, they just know, in 2 days I'm going to go and sleep the entire day because I'm done.
Okay, so you mean कि एनर्जी फील होती है बट वी आर ऑल्सो नॉट फीलिंग ग्रेट इमोशनली.
Yeah.
इसका क्या मतलब हुआ?
This is the phase where all our problems,
Mm-hmm.
emotional or maybe very practical problems, surface,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is why we don't feel good, right?
Okay.
And it's good to not feel good at times. That's the problem, that we don't want to feel. We are always sorry and guilty of this, right? Which is why it comes out as anger, impulsively.
Mm-hmm.
With every cycle, if we start practicing embracing those emotions, that yes, I know that I'm feeling this about my family, my situation, but let me just feel it without any attachment to it. Just feel it. Just let me cry it out. If you feel like crying, because I feel like crying a lot. I can cry for 4 days. I just sit in a corner and cry all day, cry. And I love it. It's a great catharsis, and it clears my head. And I also sleep. I ensure that when my body, so in this phase, you would want to, because this phase, luteal phase is very similar to your pregnancy phase. Ovulation hua, body was waiting for conception. Now it's thinking that you'll be pregnant. So your breasts become enlarged, and you're bloated, and similar mood swings to your pregnancy. Also, you don't like certain people, and you've never liked them, but you just don't have, your body is protective of yourself, right? Your own energy. So it wants to cut off from people who don't serve you. So this is why you want to hibernate. This is the winter season. This is why it's called the winter season, to hibernate, to protect your energy. So you're going to shut the door at everybody's face very clearly. I'm going to shut the door at you. So I'm going to clearly tell you that I don't like it. So this is the energy, right? You want to shut
नहीं,
people
तो
off.
यू सेड कि विंटर है ये वाला फेज, तो विंटर इज लूटियल फेज और विंटर इज मेंस्ट्रुएशन.
Menstruation, and right, your menstruation is the autumn phase. Winter is luteal, the premenstrual, because your emotions are surging then. After you start bleeding, things start normalizing, because your body starts going again into another cycle of.
तो साइकिल गड़बड़ नहीं हो गया? समर के बाद विंटर आ गया, विंटर के बाद ऑटम, ऑटम के बाद स्प्रिंग.
I'm sorry. I always do this. I think to me, the luteal phase is more wintry because it is all about the catharsis, feeling of everything, feeling every emotion to the bits. So to me, it feels wintry. But yes, it is the autumn, and the bleeding phase is your winters. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's इस phase में आपका luteal phase में it's important to acknowledge all those feelings and not feel guilty about it. Now, and how will that happen? When you know that all these feelings are coming to me to help me grow over them, to make adjustments to my life, to be able to grow. So every cycle with the luteal, the dark phase, is helping me grow.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I know that I suck at business, maybe as an entrepreneur. I'm not very good at the business side of it, you know. And last month, I didn't have enough clients to do my monthly business. Say that's an example. And then, but all I'm feeling is, oh my God, this work will not happen. What did I choose? And all of that. Now, if I sulk and let all of that go through me and cry and sleep and get up when I get up, I realized that the problem lies in me doing the work, and where the work needs to be done is at this side, the weakness that I have, right? So you now in the follicular phase use the spring to plan things, to replan things based on what you learned in the luteal phase.
ओके ओके गॉट इट. मतलब सबको कनेक्ट करते रहो, थोड़ा सा माइंडफुल रहो कि कब क्या चल रहा है, एंड देन कीप वर्किंग अकॉर्डिंगली.
Yeah. And then you'll never feel that your cycles are you suffering through them. You'll feel that this is my body telling me to slow down. And if I need to slow down, I should, because that's healthy for me physically as well as emotionally. So I will not, my anger bursts will also become less. Anger is also because of tiredness. Anger is also because of lack of sleep. Anger is also because of bottled up emotions, which we don't accept the way they are. So they keep becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And it will keep coming back unless we work on it. That's how universe works, right?
या सो इतनी सारी फेजेस हैं, एंड वील ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट कि किस तरीके से हम इनको बेटर यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं टू बी मोर प्रोडक्टिव. बट बिफोर दैट आई ऑल्सो वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड, दिव्या, कि हाउ प्रैक्टिकल इज ऑल दिस. जैसे यू टुक अ लीव, योर मैनेजर गॉट एंग्री, है ना, और मान लो मैं फ्रीलांसर हूँ, आई कैन मे बी लाई अराउंड फॉर अ डे, बट मुझे भी दूसरे दिन काम करना पड़ेगा. एंड इफ समवन इज इन अ कॉर्पोरेट सेटअप, कल आपकी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मीटिंग है तो आपको जाना ही पड़ेगा, मतलब यू कैन नॉट टेक अ लीव. तो हाउ डू वी बैलेंस इट?
By just being aware of where your needs lie. So if you're aware that probably I need to make a few adjustments and this is important to me, you will make it wherever it's possible. When it's not possible, we definitely live. But once we have practiced being aware, that involuntary, जो हमारा outbursts होते हैं, जिसका आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा मीडिया में it's shown as women going mad in their premenstrual cycle, that actually does become very, very less, because you, even in that process of going to work, you can slow down. Even if you're not sleeping, you are going slow. Energetically, you are slowing. You're not rushing through things. You're not trying to finish things. You take that one thing in your hand and just do it. Knowing that I do have energy for this one important task, rest I will keep aside, right? In a day, maybe I'll plan 10 things. One was important, I'll do that. Rest 10, so I'll listen to my body. Even at workplace, say you have an important meeting, and then you can, before that, maybe take a half an hour nap. Maybe after that, take a nap. Go home early. Next day, take a leave. However you make adjustments, you can and you should make adjustments, but your body will tell you when and how you should be doing it.
ओके. और इसमें मुझे एक चीज और भी लगी, एज वाली. मतलब इसमें एज का कितना रोल रहता है? लाइक, इज इट ओके टू नॉट वरी एंड पुश थ्रू फेजेस व्हेन यू आर यंग, और जब आप एक सर्टेन एज में आ जाओ तो फिर यू नीड टू बी मोर माइंडफुल ऑफ दिस?
I think it's all about listening to your body. So there might be certain cycles where you don't feel anything. There are cycles still that I don't feel anything. They just go as joyous as possible. So maybe I had nothing to work on. Everything was smooth. But say a few cycles, maybe this cycle, for example, for me was longer. It was a longer period of emotions and understanding. Probably a bigger picture to work on. Even youngsters are very strongly affected by menstrual cycle.
Okay.
And so if your body at any age tells you to slow down, it's very important to be in tune with your body at any age. As a woman, it's very important because our bodies are like waves, they're fluid. They're not gonna work like men, like in a 24
बिल्कुल
hour
प्लेन रोड पे
cycle.
चलते जा रहे हैं
24 hour cycle, आज है कल परसों.
हाँ
Of course, they also, of course, have an emotional. They might have their own emotional. I don't live that in that body, so I don't know. But women have more. They're more cyclical in nature.
हम्म
So it's very important to be aware of what your body is telling you, what your mind is telling you, and accept it as it is. The first step is to
ओके
just accept it as it is, and then start drawing some meaning out of it. And for each, it will be very different.
तो हमने साइकिल की बात की हमने इसके थोड़ा सा स्पिरिचुअल एस्पेक्ट को भी समझा अब आते हैं प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट अपनी मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल के साथ किस तरीके से वर्क करें तो इन फेजेस को और अपनी बॉडी के रिदम को हम कैसे ठीक से यूटिलाइज करें वी नीड सब टिप्स
So if I give you very straightforward tips, so follicular, like after you've bled, you start feeling energetic, you can start taking up things, start working on things that need work, take new projects, utilize that energy, and you'll be driven, you'll be guided. So listen to what you feel like doing, do those things. And then again, in the ovulation period, you're going to be very creative. So if you have new ideas, you feel new ideas are there. So have a small diary, note down those ideas. So what we do sometimes is we're so immersed in our 9 to जो हम अपना to do list लिखते हैं ना, we're so immersed in that sometimes we don't let our khali brain tell us what needs to be done. And sometimes wisdom lies there in our khali brain. So it's a lot of people do a lot of creative stuff when they are in the kitchen cooking, when they're taking a bath, when they are on those leisure moments of the day. So utilize those times also to just slow down. So once you slow down and be more aware and present, you'll see things coming to you on their own. And then in the luteal phase, like we said, the luteal phase will tell you where your problems lie. Once you let that come to you, you'll automatically realize, okay, I need to work on this. So your follicular phase ka jo bhi planning hai, working on taking new projects if you have to, then you can take it up from the luteal phase. Bleeding phase, of course, you would want to rest for 2-3 days, do that, and then your follicular starts right from there itself.
नहीं तो यू आर सेइंग कि फॉलिकुलर फेज का जो प्लानिंग है यू कैन टेक इट अप इन ल्यूटल फेज मतलब उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं
You can just listen to what you're being told. And once you know that I need to work on this angle, maybe take up a new course because I think this is what I need to learn. Then you utilize that when you have the energy to, and that is in the follicular phase. That is when you start feeling energetic after you've bled for 2-3 days. You will automatically feel better, feel energetic, feel like, okay, आज to-do list बनाते हैं. 2 दिन नहीं बनाई थी because I was sleeping, I was too tired, too angry, too low.
Okay, so what to do in menstrual phase then? सिर्फ rest?
You can do rest, you can menstrual phase also you can be creative. So once you're well rested, you might want to paint. Some people want to do a few different kind of things. They want to eat, they want to watch television, whatever you feel like doing. At the end of the day, I would say your body will tell you. And once you feel like, oh, I need to now go back, then you go back. But what I'm just telling you is in all these phases, accept what is being given to you as something that will benefit you. The entire cycle, not really a problem or and also with pain. Let's talk about pain now. There's a lot of talk about pain during menstrual period and how that is something that women need to endure. A lot of pain in your menstrual cycle also means that your pelvic floor needs work. So aapka blood circulation in your legs, in your pelvic area needs to be better. So you need to exercise, start exercising, take up some sort of an exercise, and that pain should reduce. If it is extremely unbearable, there is a condition that you may be suffering from, check with your doctor. Which is why I'm very not in favor of how we are looking at menstrual cycles and periods and pains, the way we are victimizing, calling it as women being victims of their own body. Women are empowered. You and I are empowered. We have that intuitive power. We are being told every cycle what we can do to progress better. That's a gift.
Yeah.
That's a creative gift we have. And it's very important to work and go back and work on our association with pain. If you have a headache and you want to fight it, oh my God, why do I have a headache? I have so much work. And it will only increase. You'll see the intensity of the pain will increase because once you try and shut some emotion, it's going to come with threefold the intensity. It's going to fight back to you because it's there. You're not acknowledging it. You're not accepting it. The moment you accept that it's there, I have to be with it. I have to breathe through it. I have to drink more water, and do whatever I need to just work with it. It just slowly fades away. It slowly fades away. And if you start practicing it, you'll start seeing that it works with you. I have not taken a painkiller for a headache in the last 6 months. I breathe through the pain consciously. Even if I have it, the moment I begin with that signal that I have a pain, I know I haven't had enough water. So the root cause is that. So you also need to be very aware of your body patterns. If I get regular headaches, what are my triggers? Where do I need to work? So that is why it's very important to also work with your menstrual pain in a very similar fashion. If you don't take rest in your menstrual cycle at all, you're gonna feel the sensations because your body didn't rest. Your muscles were constricted. Your muscles were constricted, they are going to pain. Otherwise, uterus contracting and releasing, it can be a discomfort. It can be a subtle pain. It doesn't have to be a suffering. Again,
Okay.
exercise, eat well, and work on your association with pain.
Okay. दिव्या ने हमें बताया मेंस्ट्रुएशन से स्टार्ट होके अगर हम साइकिल को काउंट करते हैं तो वी आई थिंक काउंट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट डे ऑफ मेंस्ट्रुएशन. मेंस्ट्रुएशन है, फिर उसके बाद हमारी प्री ओव्यूलेशन वाली फेज है, एंड उसके बाद ओव्यूलेशन है, एंड उसके बाद हमारी लूटियल फेज है जिसमें बॉडी फिर से मेंस्ट्रुएशन के लिए प्रिपेयर होने लगती है. इफ यू वांट टू कीप ट्रैक तो यू कैन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट डे ऑफ योर पीरियड, एंड दिव्या विल एनलाइटन अस अ लिटिल अबाउट दैट.
I think you need to be in touch with how you're feeling in your energy. So, because I cannot tell when your body starts working with your maturing your new eggs, your body will tell you. So, how your body will tell you, when your body starts producing the hormones that start maturing your eggs, you'll start feeling better, more energetic. So, it can be on day 2 of your periods, day 3 of your periods also. Then you're getting into your spring season. As simple as that. Then you listen to your body and start doing the work of being productive. You can be your most productive on your ovulation period. Sometimes we're just happy through the day. I'm a very confident woman. I can just, the feeling we all have once a month that I can just get this shit done. I can win this world. I'm a queen. So that feeling is your ovulation. And you can also see that when you're ovulating, your body produces a thick liquid. A starchy, thick liquid. And once you're producing that for 2, 3, 4 days, that is your body waiting for the sperm to float and go and fertilize the egg. And that liquid, that thick liquid just helps the sperm swim better. So that's your ovulation. And then your luteal phase, you'll start figuring out how your moods are changing. And if they're not changing, it's for the best. Just live how you live. Utilize, be productive, even if in your luteal phase, if it doesn't bother you. Why bother yourself then? Not every woman goes through the phases just as it is.
Okay, wow. So it was really wonderful in understanding all of this about our own bodies, because हमें कभी भी नहीं बताया गया. हमें सिर्फ periods पता होते हैं, ज़्यादा हुआ तो ovulation पता होता है. And if my listeners want to connect with you, what's the best way to reach out?
You can reach out to me through Instagram. You can just DM me. I'm at Divya Kapoor Vox, VOX. And there's the website where you can check out all the birth classes, lactation support that I offer. That's birthagni.com. From there, you can reach out to me. And yeah, I think those are the 2 best places.
And do listen to Divya's podcast. अगर अभी आप मेरी podcast सुन रहे तो you can go and look for Birth Agni podcast and listen to that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maitri. It means so much to me. Thank you.
Yeah. So Divya, thank you for being on Little Fixes and helping a lot of women out there.
Thank you so much. I've also, learning each day and figuring out more and more about my body, I'd say.
Yeah. So work hard when you're feeling energetic, slow down a little when your body tells you to, and relax when you need it. Don't fight your body too much. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड वैल्यूएबल लगा तो प्लीज हेल्प लिटिल फिक्सेस रीच मोर पीपल बाय शेयरिंग इट विद समवन यू केयर अबाउट. यू कैन ऑल्सो गिव अस अ शाउट आउट ऑन इंस्टाग्राम. मेरा हैंडल है @littlepixespodcast. Also, can you do me a favor? Please follow Little Fixes on your podcast app and rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. All this helps me in growing the podcast, और बहुत सारे और लोगों की हेल्प भी होती है इसको सुन के. आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर योर टाइम. तो अब मिलते हैं 5 जुलाई को तब तक के लिए खुद से प्यार करते रहो और सदा सैसी रहो। बाय।